Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of Pokemon Ruby Nuzlocke Challenge. In the last episode, I confronted Maxie, the Lex Luthor of Hoenn, had a tough battle with May, and made it to Mauville. In this episode, I'm going to ground the Electric Gym. In Mauville Gym, you will find a room full of trainers where the gimmick is electric barriers and trap doors. By pressing the electric panels, you will change where the walls go and open a path to the gym leader. This way you can reduce the number of trainers you have to fight, though I would recommend fighting all the trainers here because the gym leader will give you a hard time, and so it's best not to be under level. The Pokemon here will be around level between 17 and 22, and all of them know electric moves. I would say they use electric Pokemon, but that is not the case with some trainers. Some of them are part steel types like Magnemite, which resists a lot of types, and other are miscellaneous Pokemon that just happen to use electric moves. When fighting here, I'd recommend use ground types as they're immune to most of their attacks. However, if you do not have one, you can always use grass as it resists electric moves, or fire since it does double damage to Magnemites, which a lot of the trainers here use. The main thing to worry about is having your team get paralyzed and essentially be crippled. So pack a bunch of paralyzed heals and equip your Pokemon with cherry berries to counter this. It's gonna take a while to fight the trainer, so I will skip ahead to the gym leader. But just in case you were curious, here's the route you should take to open the path to him with minimal encounters. Though like I said before, you should train up for this fight, and so be ready for this gym. With that, it's time to fight the most electrifying man in all of Hoenn, Watson! And what better stage than here in a wrestling ring? I will say this, Watson, bring it, jabroni. Right here we have a battle with Watson, and oh my Arceus Christ, was that a hard bit to do. Right here, his first Pokemon is Magnemite, with the ability Magnepole, which means that if you use an electric move, you won't be able to switch out. Watson will start off by using a move called Thunder Wave to try to paralyze you. If you have cherry berries like I just used one, it'll counter it. But not only that, he'll also try to use Supersonic to confuse you. So essentially, Watson's strategy is that he will stack up status inflictions on you so that you have very little chance to attack. If you combine paralysis and confusion, it'll only be a 25% chance before you can even attack. While you're having trouble fighting, he'll also try to use the move Sonic Boom. Essentially, Sonic Boom is a move that'll do 20 damage to you no matter what your type is. That way that he could just whittle you down little by little while he has free turns to attack. Right here, the battle drags on for a bit, so during the stalemate, I would like to go into detail about Watson. Watson is a cheerful person who likes to crack jokes like puns, just like a certain pun-tastic Let's Player I know. Not to mention all the traps he makes as his way to amuse himself, which he got help from Hoenn's Man of Mystery, the Trickmaster. His motto is, "Be cheerful no matter when or where," which he holds true by counting any battle he has as an official gym battle. Win or loss, it doesn't matter to him. As long as you made an effort, he'll give you the badge. As you see here, I have lost my first teammate ever, and all because of a critical hit. This is what I get for trying to show what Watson tries to do. So at this point, I'm just gonna stick with ground for the most part. Just because he's fairly simple if you just use ground moves. His second Pokemon, Voltorb. Essentially what this guy will do is that he's very fast and he does pretty good damage. Though right now he's trying to use Rollout since he can't use electric moves on me. Since Thunder Wave won't work on me either, he's essentially just stuck with either Rollout or Sonic Boom. His final Pokemon, Magneton. This guy is pretty powerful. He will do high damage to you with using Thunderbolt, and then he'll cripple you with Thunder Wave. Though like I said, if you use ground moves, this is pretty much a cinch. Now that the battle is over, I wanted to talk about that despite Watson being such a cheery guy, he has a bit of a dark side. As he's mentioned before, he gave up developing on the city. The game does not go into detail about this, but in Pokemon Adventures it said that Watson was trying to solve the land shortage and overpopulation problem in Mauville with the Trickmaster, but failed to do so. Apparently his motor drive had to do with helping children. As a result, later on he sides with a certain group to attain his goal. There isn't a lot more to the story, but I don't want to spoil it. Let's just say in Hoenn, a war is brewing in the works, and gym leaders are taking sides based on their desires. I plan to make a video special on it, so you guys can get a bigger picture of what's exactly going on. But for now, all I have to do is I have to say goodbye to Silver. Since as the rules of Nuzlocke, I had to put him away in a box permanently. I was being arrogant, and I ended up losing my friend. Because the RNG seemed to want to punish me for it. Before we leave, we need to do some stuff in Mauville, which is first we have to go to this house. An NPC will give you the TM for Rock Smash. It's a weak move that lowers defense, but it's required to clear an obstacle that's north of us. I don't know about you guys, but I believe the casino is a good place for a pick-me-up. Just don't say that in public. Now that's more like it, and upbeat music. In Mauville Game Corner, you can buy coins to play the slot machines. Instead of it being random like Vegas, you can choose when to stop the reels. Some machines differ in speed, which determines the difficulty of how to win. If you're good at timing, you can win it pretty easy. The other game you could play is the roulette. Just like in real life, you could place a bet on either one spot or a row and you win if it lands. The odds depends on the area you bet. Spaces will be occupied until 6 rounds are played and then the board resets. A trick you could do here is that you could bet on a large area until the last ball comes in, and you can then bet on a single space. The odds do not change, so you can kind of cheat it and increase your chances. However, if the ball gets stuck, this happens. A Pokemon will pop up and mess it up for you. After you're done, you can cash in the coins for premium TMs, which I will put on screen right now. I say that of all the mechanics of Pokemon, this one has been the most controversial, mostly since people don't want kids gambling in a kids game. In fact, as of Generation 5, this mechanic has been dropped altogether. Some Gen 4 games like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Platinum have been removed in English versions of the games. Now that I feel more energized, our next destination is Vertner Town, where we're supposed to meet Wally. It is not required for now, but it is important to go there at one point, so it's best to get it out of the way now. In Route 117, you'll find a bunch of trainers here, but more importantly, you can find the daycare. The idea of the daycare is so that not only that you can level up your Pokemon naturally, but you also can have them breed eggs. I have no idea why they went with eggs, to be honest, but you know, Pokemon logic as always. The idea is that when you breed, you have to use a male and female that are of the same egg group. The resulting Pokemon will be based on the female, while the male sends its traits into it. Essentially, the benefit to breeding is that you can modify a lot of things of a Pokemon that you breed with, like such as learning moves that it normally would not through level up, and passing down stat modifiers with it, which is either the nature, which you can manipulate using the Everstone, or you can pass down the IVs, which is like a really long, complicated process, and that's more if you're doing competitive battling. And my first Pokemon here is Roselia. Roselia is actually a pretty good Pokemon. Unlike most of the grass types in this game, which have their stats focused on attack, Roselia is actually a special attacker, which is good since grass is special in this generation. Overall, in terms of stats, she's okay, but I mean, I guess there are better ones out there. In terms of grass, I guess that's the best you're gonna get. To be honest, she's a lot better in the newer games, just because she has another evolution, and in this game she has no evolutions at all. It's such a shame though, because I mean in her evolution she learns a lot more moves, and her stats are very high in terms of special. Darn it. And I have no idea why I was letting this happen. I mean, I just let her like boost her special attack by like 3 or 4 stats. That's more than enough to kill any of my teammates. Ugh, I gotta be more careful next time. And there we go. Okay, as to the rules, I'm gonna call her Viridi, since it's a grass Pokemon. Is anyone seeing a pattern here on what my favorite game is? I know some people like that game, but you know, it's overlooked a lot since it's 3DS. Oh man. Problem with this route is there's a lot of trainers. And, come on, 6 Pokemon? No way. Sorry, I just had to skip. That's like 6 weaklings in a row. Ugh. Interesting enough, they altered that route just so you can breed eggs better. Well, with that, we've hit here in Verdner Town. First thing we need to do is that we gotta find Wally and his family. What you need to do is you gotta talk to the mother first. Looks like a couple is in trouble. I guess it's time for old Ruby to deal with it. Oh, Wally, you'll always be the obsessed green Pokemon trainer I read about. Nothing will ever change that. Anyways, what we gotta do is we gotta go to the cave here in North, and right here is Whismur Cave. I know it's not the name, but be honest, that's all you'll find here. Anyways, right here's the couple we need to help. So all we gotta do is use the Rock Smash that we picked up at the beginning of the episode. Well, right after the gym leader. And for that, we get our HMO4, which we'll need at some point. Well, with strength, my Pokemon cannot lift weights, unlike a certain gym leader I know. Actually, it's more for removing obstacles, just like all the other HMs are for. Okay, the last thing we had to do is here at the red building. In here is the contest hall, which is a mechanic only unique to this generation. I'll do a bonus vid on this in the future, just so that you can enjoy the fun about it. But with that, we just have to do is get TM45, which is a track. Okay, I think that's a good place to stop. Next time on Pokemon Ruby Nuzlocke, I'm gonna head north to the next gym. Till then, see you later.